Hello everybody, today I have the pleasure to propose to you this key 80 entitled Practical Awakening. Well, today we're gonna talk about emotional and psychological stability. Well, concretely, this is what I explained in previous video. We are living in a period of time which is a transition for which energies are changing a lot. That's why a lot of people are getting crazy, nuts, and some people are completely unbalanced. Why? Because they didn't do this job of cleaning, to do the introspection of knowing themselves, and also in parallel they didn't clean up. So they are not on the, let's say, healthy foundation. Okay, so they are unstable. Actually, it is exactly as if, because the energies are changing in this new era, for which I said previously that in the key 69 I explained during 4 videos what is this transition, this new era. Okay, the energies are changing, and is exactly as if you were an electronic device for which you requires 110 volts, and you put the voltage of 220 or 240. You burn it, you destroyed your electronic device. So it's exactly the same. That's why we really need to do this job, even if it's painful. So today we're gonna see the notion of addiction. Addiction comes from Latin, and it was used, this word, for the lack of freedoms, the lack of individuality and the lack of freedom. So it is linked to slavery. Okay, and by the way, this is alienation in English. It's come from Latin. Alienus means foreigner, so it means that you are foreigner of yourself. Addiction, we estimate that most of us are addicted. Personally, I'm a former addict, okay, for which I will be an addict all my life. I had problems in the past of alcohol, of marijuana, and so on. And now I completely departed of it. Okay, I'm free of this. Okay, but thanks to this experience, I can testify and I can help people in a certain extent. So, well, it depends most of the time on a lack of concretely, a lack of emotion, a lack of recognition, a lack of love, and so on. It's to compensate. Okay, this is linked most of the time of your childhood. Okay, emotional bound. Okay, link due to your couple, due to your recognition, lack of recognition, and so on. And bulimia on which you have the satiety. Is like if you eat, and you never, you don't feel the fact that the satiety is when you are, you have enough in a certain extent. So it's also unconsciously a quest of unity. That's why a lot of people in spirituality are potentially addicted because they are missing something. You know, when I say to you the Elif Shafak quotes saying that no matter who you are, where you live, deep inside you, we all feel incomplete. It's like if we had lost something and experiencing the need to find it back. So we come from the big hole, the everything. Okay, and we have been separated at our birth with the notion of existence. To exist means to separate from the big or the everything, and we are suffering of this miss, okay, of this lack. Okay, and the goal is to find back this unity, but not artificially being everywhere and at the same time nowhere on the social network, social medias, and or with those who are taking, let's say, well, addicts, is most of the time to free the egotic physical prison. Okay, it's to go out. Okay, to enlarge the perspectives. That's why Carl Sagan said, "We are a way for the universe to know itself. Some part of ourself knows where we come from. We aspire to return. And we can do it because the cosmos is also within us. We are made of stardust." This is really beautiful because this is an inspiration of coming home, coming back to something that I call unity. We come from it, and the goal is here, despite the segmentation, to find it back. With it, there are different types of addiction: alcohol, drug, medication, tobacco, food, okay, anorexia, bulimia, sex, game, pain. Yes, some people are. Unhappiness, yes. This is source of dopamine most of the time, because it creates happiness at first, but then you need to compensate to increase your dose to not to be unhappy. Okay, so because you have a concept of tolerance, the more you take alcohol, the more you can resist, and you are kind of immunized. Okay, so this is also the notion of reward. We know with the notion of psychology with Pavlov, you know, the bell, the Pavlov's bell with the dog salivating when he hears, because he has associated that. Okay, so we're gonna see some different techniques. I invite you to do if you know some people, or if you are potentially, which is first of all is hyperventilation. Okay, hyperventilation, rebirth, holotropic breathwork. You can see that in the key and treated in the two videos, 23 and 23 plus, okay, which is a guided meditation for which you can hyperventilate, and you will see you will have some altered consciousness. Okay, I evoke that also in the key 35, 37 and 40. Okay, the trance, for example, ecstatic dance that I explain exactly how does it work. In the key 37, there is even a demonstration of what it can be. Okay, when you do that, at the end you feel completely exhausted, and then you feel free, because free of your movement and so on, and is activating something. I'm not saying is equivalent to drugs, but actually it's like sport. This is one of the technique, yeah, but sport, I swear to you, when I do sport, when I go for running, jogging, then I take my shower, I do, for example, a bit of exercise for swimming pool and so on. Then I do a massage, meditation. Then if I'm fasting and I eat, and then if I do a cherry on the cake, make love, frankly speaking, I don't need anything else. I don't need any substance. I'm in paradise. Okay, so it is kind of, you know, these techniques, when you know yourself, of course. Another technique, I mean, it can be astral travel, astral journey, or out-of-body experience, for which you have some techniques. I revealed some of them, 20 of them, 30 of them maybe, in the key 66 if you're interested in it, because it allows to be in vacation of your normal state of consciousness, and we need that. Some people take drugs, or take let's say some alcohol during the weekend, just to break the routine of their I don't know, their work life and so on, stressing life and so on. And actually this body astral experience allows you as well. It shouldn't be recreative, it shouldn't be like for fun, but at least exploration of, and also it enlarges your perspective, and you feel more connected to something else, the invisible world and so on. Extreme sport like bungee jumping, parasailing, paragliding, kite surfing and so on. All this giving you dopamine. Okay, it allows you punctually to compensate. Why? Because basically, you know, the excess of happiness at the beginning of your when you stop the fruit of your the substance of your addiction. You're missing something. And actually, you know, how does it work? With your neurons, you have neurons and you have synapses. Okay, two neurons, when they are connected with a biological reaction with the synapse, like electricity connected, it allows to activate the 4 different hormones of happiness, like endorphins, oxytocin, dopamine, serotonin, and so on. Okay, so concretely, if you take some substance, it's activating through this product, but without, it's much more difficult to be happy. That's why a lot of people, after a few months, they get back to their drugs and or their alcohol or their substance. Okay, that's very important to have some interests. some centers of interest, okay? Some with passion or personal developments, like I don't know, a challenge, like a marathon, like I don't know, a competition, like an ability, like a travel, like a project, you know, for motivate yourself to have a certain reward when you reach it, and so on. New sensation could be like I treated in the key 37 and 37 plus, for which you broaden, you enlarge, you widen your perspectives, like Sufi David dance, okay? The fact to rotate at the end, you're like in a divine drunkenness in a certain extent. Floating, for instance, Watsu, floating, okay, when you don't feel your body anymore. Okay, you have some techniques I reveal in this keys. Watsu, for example, it's reactivating your birth, okay? Meditation, in which you can have the key 21, for which I recommend, because it's oxygenating the brain, and thereby more your happiness, and it allows you to compensate naturally. Mindfulness as well, the techniques are revealed in the key 22. And in general, to have holy style of life, holy style of life. It means the middle way, that's to say, to compensate with good food, good mood, let's say balance with good ingredients. It's creating happiness as well. To have a good sleep, when you do sports, when you have the techniques I revealed in between the key 20 and 21, 40, 41, and in the book for free that you can download from my website, Sage Passage Utopia. You have 65 different techniques, advice, and tips for being happy, to raise your vibration. Okay, so this is important because in the phases of detoxification, you will need this substitutes. Okay, so some tips. First, to be aware of the fact you have a problem of addiction. Okay, it's the first step to save it. To feel the need to free yourself of it, and to make a list of the problems created by your addiction. Okay, and in parallel, what's the benefits you could have advantages without. Okay, so for example, alcohol is dangerous for my health, okay, and for other people. For example, if I drive, it makes me aggressive, for example, and or stupid. Sometimes they're ridiculous. I fall down and so on. I cannot talk anymore. For instance, my hangovers are nightmares. For instance, it endangers my relationships with my friends, with my couple, with my my work, with my social ties, and so on. It's expensive. I stink. Okay, I smell bad. I'm getting old. I'm full of wrinkles, and so on. And describe in parallel the positive elements thanks to that. To be convinced that you can do it, and without any pressure, okay? Because you know, one very important things, and to have met in 2003 in Mazatlan in Sinaloa in Mexico, the main addiction clinics with Manon, a friend of mine. It was she was a former addict as well. The motto was solo para hoy. It means only for today. It means that you just stop for today. If tomorrow you get back to it, is no pressure, is no problem. I mean, you have to do it step by step. Okay, to be helped. Okay, to be helped with your family, to be accompanied by your family, your couple, your friends, and also some specialists, some psychologists, some therapists, some medical treatment eventually. To be patient, because once again, to reconnect your neurons of natural happiness, it takes few months. Okay, so it's a part of the game, and it's kind of difficult. To have palliative, as I say, some passion, interest, sport, film, movie, art, whatever, and also to accept that life at first can be not as exciting than before with your substance. Why? You know, it's exactly the metaphor. If you put a lot of salt, you think that your food is tasteless if you stop it, and you need to do this detox and eventually at the extreme to fast, to do fasting for a few days, like this. And I always recommend you have the key 25 detox of a detoxification of fasting of 72 hours. Ask to your doctor first, of course. But let's say, after that, I swear to you that even a salad without any salt, with a vinaigrette, whatever, it's delicious. Okay, so it's allowing you to relearn how to taste. It's the same thing, the small happiness, moments of happiness. Then now we're gonna treat the problem of hypersensitivity. I treat it in the key 49 if you want to deepen. There is a test because there is different levels, very high, let's say medium, very low, and so on. But concretely, a lot of people in spirituality are hypersensitive. And why? Because they activate their senses and they aspire to a new word, a better word, and so on. And concretely, it's touching 25% of the worldwide population, and apparently between 35 to 50% of spiritual people. Okay, so concretely, this is a mesh. When you are hypersensitive, this is a mesh. It's like a filter, and or vacuum. Okay, you attract all the energies, all the emotion, and because you have your senses very developed. Okay, so even your intuition. So you can feel, for example, the happiness, but also especially the darkness of the world, for example, the war, and so on. So even the sound, you can be affected when it's too high, and so on. Okay, so concretely, what is important is to analyze the fact that it's like a knife. It's double-edged. Okay, it means that it can be for the good, for the bad. Personally, when it's well managed, it can be an enormous source. It's a treasure, basically. It's a source of many advantages. Badly managed, it is a nightmare. Okay, because you are overwhelmed by too much emotions all the time. So when it's well managed, it can be a gold mine, like creativity, intuition, artistic grace, okay, with the sacred feminine. It can give you a channeling capacity, like mediumic capacity, the art of diplomacy, the capacity to understand through empathy other people, to have a global vision, overview, okay, like holistic dimension, interconnection with elements, and so on. Values, honesty, intelligence. So because you are making links that other people down to earth, they don't see or they don't feel. Okay, ability to concentrate longer and deeply, to be more invested in what you are doing. Okay, and the quest of meaning of life in general. Okay, so I would say that hypersensitivity is hyperhumanity. Okay, it means that you are hyperhuman in a certain extent. It's not bad. It's a source of potential as well. The techniques and the tips, I revealed some of them, but is need of sleeping. Okay, to have enough sleep. Respect your rhythm. Okay, the moments and your rhythm. If you need to do a nap, do it. Okay, a meditation, do it. Okay. Calmness, okay? It's very important to have a calm environment, quiet your moment, and so on, because otherwise you are very tired because of the sound, because of the images, because of the crowd, many things. Loneliness, okay? It's important to have your private moment for yourself, okay? To have this moment for reading, for walking, meditation, and whatever. To take it easy and, let's say, to protect yourself and to preserve yourself from bad energies, like movies. Avoid to watch thrillers, anxiety-provoking movies, like, I don't know, wars, violence, and so on. To be careful about protecting yourself from too many news. The media, certain of them, they are very oriented, okay, and they just are surfing with the quest of the buzz. Okay, so this is dangerous. Okay, so you know, Rumi, the great Sufi, said the real knowledge is to know what you have to ignore. Okay, do you need to know what's the violence, the murders, the rapes that are in Delhi now, in Sao Paulo, in the middle of nowhere, in the Lesotho, in the, I don't know where, in Jakarta, in wherever. Okay, so the point is to be aware and detach of that. To have some hypersensitive community as well, friends, but not exclusively. Otherwise, it will maybe like a mimicry, it will reinforce and will make you like elite, you know, different, and you will, you know, like if you are focusing on Alcoholic Anonymous all the time, and you think it's your community, your, let's say, your brotherhood, and so on, is not good in either. Okay, to be detached as well, to protect yourself from the narcissistic perverts in the key evil key 72. I spent 4 videos for that, but one video especially to depict, to explain the different characters of this kind of people, because if you are hypersensitive, you are, let's say, a prey, ideal prey. Okay, so to be the victim and him or her executioner, to be detached from your mind and more in the feeling. Okay, show a certain detachment, abstraction, escape from, is not escaping from reality, but to play the game completely in a mindfulness, meditation, as I said before, sport, art, leads to quality as well, to be confident. Don't regret to be hypersensitive. Once again, well managed. It is, you can be proud, and also to visualize. Would you like to be a goat, like most of people, without any emotion? They watch sometimes videos, they see murders, crime, bad news, and they don't give a shit. Okay, do you want to be like this? Do you want to be robots, an animal without any sound, without any emotion? Personally, not at all. And I'm proud of this and happy to be that. And in parallel of that, I'm not to make the differentiation with other people, the mass and so on. No, I respect everybody at his own rhythm. Okay, I don't reproach a baby to poo in his pampers. It's the same. I respect humanity for what they are, at the level they are, and also I don't want to change them. Okay, but I know what I want, and I try to be the change that I want to see in the world, basically, and I invite everybody to do so. Well, don't reject your emotion, leave them, analyze them, express them. Okay, decipher your emotions as signals and symptoms. Okay, speak, express yourself with people. Everything can be explained and said. This is not good to keep for you. Okay, with diplomacy, of course, but you have a problem, talk about this. When I talk about my addiction problems in the past, I'm not ashamed of that. Okay, my employees, my students, my clients could see, could watch. I don't mind. I've been that. I respect that. I respect what I had been, and if I had to do, I think I would never change anything, because what I am now, and I'm proud of that, because I work on this, I can improve myself, I still have self-analysis, but it's the fruit of all this before. Okay, we are the results of the past. Okay, and as an experience or as a frustration. But if you transmute, discharge, take it out, the bad substance, you transmute it, and it's luminous afterwards. Well, I invite you to meditate, and not only to meditate, to apply for what is vibrating within you as techniques, as advice, tips, and so on. It's up to you to decide. It's up to you to deepen or not. I refer to different keys. If you want to have more information, do it. I will not check for you. It is, nobody can go to the toilet for you. So it's exactly the same principle in the practical awakening. Well, I hope all this humble information will help you to shape the master key to open up the door of consciousness, of love, of whatever you want. As you know, all roads lead to Rome and to the Dome. Thank you for your attention, and see you very soon.